The expectations we set for ourselves as writers can be some of the most counterproductive shit we ever do. We start seeing the flaws in our work, or all we see is the flaws in our work, and we look at the amount of work that it's going to take to get from this to perfect, and we're like, why even bother? Why do I do anything, ever? Perfectionism is dumb, it's insidious, it slows us down, it holds us back, and it can even stop us from getting started in the first place. Fuck perfectionism. I've struggled with it my whole life. So let's talk about some of the ways that we can tell perfectionism to shut the fuck up and get back to writing the books that we want to write. So I've got 4 different ways of tackling this. Number 1, decide what your focus is for this phase of writing and pursue it ruthlessly. I really love what Victoria Schwab said about feeling overwhelmed with the amount of work that you still have to do on a book. That's because a finished book has, say, 30 coats of paint, but when you write, you can only put down a single layer of paint at a time. You can't even fathom how many coats of paint are in a finished product. You can only see the top one, and it seems like one coat. That is the lie. Each and every draft, every revision, every polish is a coat of paint. Focus on putting down one coat at a time. This really makes so much sense to me. Try and think about which coat of paint are you doing right now? Is it structure or consistency, tense and point of view, spelling, grammar, prose? Perfectionism tells us to worry about every single thing all at the same time. So one of the best ways to get over that is to say, excuse me perfectionism, I'm focusing on this right now, so you can just shut up about that other stuff. You can say, look, I'm just focusing on getting the story beats down right now, so all your chat about how clunky this prose is can fuck right off. Number 2, reframe your goal when sitting down to write. Set yourself goals that you can actually achieve. It might be subconscious, but are you telling yourself that every writing session is about sitting down to write a good book? Hello, I am a sucker for this one myself. It's wrong. This writing session is actually just about showing up for 20 minutes, making a mess, maybe seeing if your awesome writer self shows up. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. But the point is to show up. This writing session is just about registering my attendance. Look, checked in at my book today. Good for me. Number 3, think about what it actually means to write a perfect book. Nobody actually likes perfection. Perfection is cold. It can be off-putting. It can be inhuman. We love works which have messiness and humanity in them. Your job is not to write a perfect book because no one actually wants to read a perfect book. First of all, perfect books don't exist. So the books that you're thinking about when I say the phrase perfect book, they're not perfect. They're perfect for you. They're perfectly human. There is a difference. So when you're thinking, and again, probably not consciously, but subconsciously, I need to write a perfect book. What the fuck are you talking about? No one's ever written a perfect book in the history of the universe, but you're going to be the one. Like, come on. The ego. Shut up. The ego. A writer is not someone who writes one perfect book. A writer is someone who writes the best book that they're capable of at that time, and then they move on and they write another book, and that's the best book that they're capable of at that time. And they use what they learned to make it a bit better, and they rinse and repeat. That's what a writer is. Your job is just to finish the story, however you can. Your job is just to write the best books that you're capable of writing right now, and then move the fuck on. And finally, number 4, and this is the practical one, create an affirmation around this. Keep it nearby and repeat it as often as possible. Affirmations are one of the best ways to start changing a sticky mindset that you're stuck with, that you also know is not helping you out in any way. And yes, you might get a bit of a squick factor from the idea of affirmations. You might think it's cheesy, you might think it's too awkward, the idea might make you just curl up into yourself like a crunched crisp packet, and that's okay. Affirmations are private. They're meant to probably sound a bit weird. They're not the kinds of things that you would say in conversation. You don't have to share them with anyone else, ever. They can still be incredibly valuable and helpful in this regard. They also work best when they're totally customized to you. So you need to figure out what actually is it that I subconsciously, or deep down, what is it that I believe about this thing, and what is the opposite of that, or what's the positive version of that I want to replace that with. And if you're going to be repeating it over and over, it's probably worth taking those extra few minutes to find out which wording of this is the most powerful for you. So here are some examples of affirmations that you could use either verbatim or as inspiration around perfectionism in your writing. I am going to write this now and I'm going to make it good later. No one has to read this but me, and it might suck, but it's meant to suck. I'm a writer and I'm done fucking around. This is one of my favourites. I got it from Chuck Wendig from his writer's prayer, and I swear by it. This is not going to read prettily, but the first draft is a workhorse, not a show pony, and so I'm not going to worry about that right now. So, once you have your affirmation, here's what you do with it. You write it down, could just be on a post-it. If you're like me and having things be cute makes them more effective, then you can make it cute. And you want to read it aloud as often as possible. If you are in a public place or something, you could whisper it if there's enough background noise that people aren't going to hear you, or you can just say it inside your head. Here are the times where you want to repeat it to yourself. Every time you're about to start a writing session. Every time that you think, I should be writing, your brain is like, no! Every time you feel guilty for not writing enough. Every time you write a terrible sentence and you start to get in a bad mood about it, you start to think, oh god, I'm so bad at this. Just stop, repeat your affirmation, continue. Repeat it as much as you can, honestly. The more you do it, the more it's going to stick in. Do you love it? Are you obsessed? Can you tell I've been watching Queer Eye? Okay, do you have any tips personally for punching perfectionism in its perfect stupid face? Leave them down below in the comments, please. And if you want to brush up on your plotting, or you've enjoyed any of my videos on the plot embryo, feel free to check out my free course, How to Plot on One Page. For a week, you get a daily video of 10 minutes or less, and it includes some crazy profound stuff about plotting that I don't have anywhere else on my YouTube channel. And if you're stuck with a plot embryo or your novel in general, you can get my help directly in a novel navigation session. It does not matter where you are with your writing, sometimes every single writer could use an outside perspective, a mug full of enthusiasm, and some team brainstorming. So if you're interested, go take a look and maybe book a free 15-minute consultation. You'll find links for How to Plot on One Page and the novel navigation sessions in the description box down below. Okay, Cinnamon Bun, take care, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Do I seem more peppy to you? I feel like I am more peppy. Not Peppy the Frog, like pep. You know what I mean? Like pep talk kind of pep. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just not getting interrupted, or if it's because I've actually been taking care of myself, and so I'm in a better place with my mental health. What a wonder to be alive. Okay, I'm gonna stop this now.